Okay, so today's video is a lot more serious than the average video I do here on the channel, not really like, making fun of something goofy or anything. Today, we are talking about something I think is very serious, because doxing has become like a very serious plague to the internet. I think most people watching this video probably know what that is. If you don't know what doxing is, basically, on the internet, for whatever reason, a lot of the time it can be as simple as a disagreement on a video game or an internet forum or something. Basically, it's when somebody or a group of people will try and find and publish the personal information about another person. So, let's say you get into an argument on Fortnite with some 13-year-old child, okay? Now, that 13-year-old is upset about what you said, and he decides, hey, I'm gonna dox this guy. Basically, he'll find out, like, maybe through a username or something like that, other personal information about you, and it can go as far as, like, finding family members' names, addresses, phone numbers, your addresses, your account passwords, things like that. I mean, it gets crazy for some people. It's pretty serious, and it's something that, well, on Twitter has become pretty fucking bad, okay? Now, I'm going to be talking about a person named Skai Jackson, okay? This is apparently some celebrity. I have no idea who she is or what she's from. I don't think that really matters in the grand scheme of things, but apparently a lot of people know who she is. She has hundreds of thousands of followers. People keep telling me she was on some Disney show, but thinking back on it, I can't remember her being on any of them. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. But over the last few weeks, especially since the killing of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter protests and movement has kind of re-sparked here in the United States and become this colossal movement again, she's basically been doxing people that I guess people are like kind of throwing to her. So people will see somebody that they know say something racist or make a racist joke or something like that on social media, and they'll throw out like their name and their account and what school they go to, and she'll either amplify it to these hundreds of thousands of people, or she'll even find more information about these people and throw it out there. And it doesn't matter, how old they are, who they are, what they're doing. Doesn't really matter to her. It seems to be primarily like high schoolers, which are, once again, children, they're minors, that she's sharing this information on, and it's pretty shitty. I don't condone doxing. There's only a very slight few instances in which I can say that doxing is acceptable. If someone is committing a very serious crime or planning to commit a very serious crime, then maybe it's a little bit more acceptable, right? If someone is out here, I don't know, throwing puppies off of cliffs and putting it up on the internet, right? Maybe doxing is a little bit more acceptable in a situation like that, because they're committing a fucking crime. They're doing something extremely illegal and wrong, okay? But these people, they're not really committing crimes, at least here in the United States. Now, I don't condone what these people are saying and what they're doing, because it's obviously very stupid and ignorant, and even the jokes, most of them, like, I don't really understand why anyone would post that out publicly on their whatever, right? Just me personally, I don't really understand the concept of doing something like that. I mean, what they're doing is wrong, but doxing is a very serious thing. Now, the one instance I want to really focus in on here is one that, well, Skai actually has deleted, okay? So, to put it pretty simply, there were, like, these 13/14-year-olds, two of them, who posted a meme, which you'll essentially see on the screen. This is the meme that they basically repeated in, I think, Instagram comments. Now, keep in mind, it's a joke. They're not being, like, legitimate, skinhead white supremacists or anything crazy like that. It's a pretty stupid joke, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of ridiculous. But they're like 13 or 14 years old. They're apparently going into their freshman year, so that's the age range that we're talking here. And Skai Jackson basically doxed them for all of her hundreds of thousands of followers, including their names, what school they're going to be attending, showed their profiles, and you might be saying like, oh, that's not too serious, right? It's just their name, their profile, and the school they're going to go to. Well, first off, the school is something that is just, it's weird to post in the first place, right? Because you would think that just doing that, you're like, these are fucking kids, right? I am doxing children, but that didn't go through her head, or I guess anyone else's head involved in the situation, if there was anyone else involved. But also because the school isn't the one who posted the jokes, and now they're going to be harassed because these kids are there. And American schools already have enough to worry about. I mean, people will possibly call in bomb threats and other kinds of threats and stuff to this school and put children's lives in fear when they're sitting. I mean, if you've ever had to go through a situation like that where someone has made like a threat to the school and you're essentially just sitting there hoping and just terrified of what's going on, it's not a fucking fun situation. It's not something anyone should ever have to sit through, especially knowing how bad it's been in the US in the last 2 decades with this kind of stuff. And the craziest thing about it wasn't like they made this joke the day before she doxed them, okay? They had made this joke well over a year beforehand, so it was a completely old joke. They were probably 12 years old or so when they had posted the joke, or when they said what they said, and I'm just gonna be honest. I don't think doxing a fucking child who was 12 years old when they basically said a meme is an ethical or reasonable thing to do. That's absolutely absurd. Doxing people on the internet in general is just stupid. All you do is put people's life in legitimate danger for your own fucking thrill. And it is illegal in some places, by the way. It can be considered cyber stalking, harassment, things like that. And I'm just going to go off of a limb here and assume that in the next few years there will be actual doxing laws introduced. But they basically have now doxed children over what has been an internet meme for, I mean, a long time. And like I said, this puts people's life at risk because when people get doxed, right? I don't know if you guys probably know what swatting is too. I think that's a little bit more commonly known about now because many police departments and stuff are starting to actually address it as an issue after Tyler Barris killed that dude over a Call of Duty wager match. But essentially, if someone gets doxed, right? Like, if these kids had their name and their address posted, some lunatic could take that and then call their local police department and SWAT them, and essentially tell the police department, like, hey, these people have hostages and there's bombs all over the place. They're gonna shoot it out with the law when they show up and shit like that. And then what happens is the cops come armed to the teeth in SWAT gear and riot vehicles and shit, kick the door in, put everyone's life at risk because they think that they're basically stepping into a scene from fucking Rainbow Six Siege or something, and it's all over nothing. It's all over an internet dispute. And people have been killed doing this. Like I said, Tyler Barris got mad over a $1 Call of Duty wager match and swatted the wrong house because the wrong address was given to him, and the police ended up shooting a guy at his doorstep and fucking killing him in Kansas. It's a very serious thing. Doxing people puts people's life at risk. Because, I mean, in the cops' defense, right? When they get a call telling you essentially that there's, hostages and they're armed, they think that lives are in danger, not only just these hostages and everything, but their own. So they're gonna go into this situation just fucking fearful and wanting to keep themselves and as many other people safe. That's the whole reason that they show up armed to the teeth. And literally one mishap, someone puts their hand in the wrong place, or they don't listen to the instructions clearly enough, or the cop gets nervous and fucking misfires or something, and someone ends up dead. And it's a very real situation. It could happen in a situation like this. What if on the news tomorrow you saw that a 14-year-old kid was fucking shot to death because he made a joke on the internet and someone swatted him after Skai Jackson doxed him? It's not an acceptable thing to do. It's not funny. It's not ethically correct. There's nothing good that comes from any of it. It's just harassment. It's a horrible thing to do to somebody. Now, Skai Jackson was called out for this. I mean, everyone basically was shitting on her. Well, not everyone. I mean, there was, I don't know, I would say it was like 85% people saying that it was wrong and she was just doxing children, and what she did was completely shitty, and she's essentially harassing people online and putting children's lives in danger, and maybe 15% of people who were okay with it. Okay, now, I was blocked by Skai Jackson because I commented under one of her posts. She after, doxing dozens of people over the last few weeks, has decided to post a bunch of shit about how she wishes social media was more positive and wants everyone to tell someone else something positive that they did, once again after putting dozens of people's lives in danger. So I basically just told her that she wasn't a victim and to quit doxing people, and she blocked me. So I think that in a situation like this, there's no better admission of guilt than, hey, I was being a fucking asshole, and I was putting people's lives in actual danger, especially children, than blocking someone because they said that. But that's okay, I don't care. I mean, I don't condone this kind of behavior, so A bunch of people are now trying to dox Skai Jackson, which, once again, I don't condone. I mean, just because she's being an ass and she's harassing people and she's doing something wrong, I don't think that that means that she should be doxed as well. I understand the mentality of an eye for an eye and things like that, and people think that this is the right way to handle things, but I disagree. I think the best way to handle this is to just report what she's doing to the police and to Twitter, and let them handle it, because at the end of the day, she is fucking harassing people. She is putting people's lives in danger. I mean, if you feel like what she's doing is so bad that you're willing to dox her, just report it to Twitter and whoever else you feel necessary. If she's not doing anything illegal, she won't be arrested, but if she is doing something illegal, which in some places she is, then they'll handle it from there. Doxing people is not an acceptable thing to do unless, like I said, it's a serious crime, like an imminent threat to public danger or just something so vile and twisted that it could actually be used to combat it. And I'm sorry, 13-year-olds making jokes on the internet is not something so vile that they and their families deserve to be put under this kind of pressure. Now, I also want to go ahead and bring up the fact that Skai has doxed the wrong people on 2 separate occasions now. In her quest to, I guess, fight racism by doxing people on the internet, she has doxed 2 completely innocent people who had nothing to do with the situation, posting their personal information to hundreds of thousands of people, likely submitting them to some sort of harassment, whether people pizza bombed the house, aka sending a shit ton of pizza to the house, finding their social media and harassing them, finding their phone numbers and harassing them, God forbid being swatted. She's done this twice now, okay? And the way that she's continuing about this, I'm assuming that it may happen again. And Skai, if you're watching this video, okay, you probably disagree with me, and that's okay. But all it's gonna take is for one of these times that you post someone's fucking information, and some vigilante out there goes along and does something stupid, like finding their address and swatting them, and they get killed, and you're gonna be in prison. Because you helped basically get somebody killed. It's it's serious. It's nothing to fucking play around about. And I get that she's doing this because she thinks that she's helping combat racists or whatever. But I'm gonna bring up the counter argument that it probably isn't helping anything, okay? Because there's probably a lot of people on this issue who are just, they're watching this, they're trying to figure out what's going on, and they're seeing that people like Skai are doxing people and putting their lives in danger. And next thing you know, they might be on the other side of the situation. They might be like, well, fuck, these people over here, they're doxing people and putting their lives in danger. Looks like I'm going to be on the other side of this. This is not something you do. Even if you're not pushing people away from the entire movement or whatever that you're trying to fight for, you're putting children's lives in danger, and that's not okay. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. Thank you to my channel members, your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, not doxing, and signing out.